Hi friends, my name is Debbie and today we're going to be painting this Halloween house. I'm painting this on a card so you can give it to your friends for Halloween, but you can put it on any paper that you have. So let's jump in and get started. We're going to start off by getting our reed wet. We're going to start applying our fall colors, which I have yellows, sienna, burnt sienna, and a little bit of orange color. And we're just using the tip of the brush and making some kind of bushy strokes. I'm adding my cadmium yellow and it's blending nice and even because we're wetted our paper, and I'm just going around. It doesn't matter if it's outside the reed. We want to have some leaves sticking out, so it's going to be more natural. And this one here is just my sienna color with a little bit of burnt sienna. Then we're adding some round shapes. These are going to be flowers later on. For this card, I'm going to be using mixed media. And in this case, I'm going to be using my watercolor pencils. You can use watercolor pencils, you can use markers, or you can use crayons, whatever you have at home. So I'm adding some of my orange, still making some little circles. And then with the tip of the brush, I'm adding some more color to my reed. So I'm just making some kind of like leaf strokes, and we want it all over. Try not to touch your circles because we want to keep those colors nice and bright, and we will go back to them later on. So just using the tip of the brush, putting the paint on your paper, going around in different positions, move your hand up and down. And remember to put some of your paint on the outside. Later when we go back and use our pencils, we're gonna make some leaf shapes and it's gonna look really cute. So now we're moving to our pumpkins. I'm gonna start off by putting my cadmium yellow with a little bit of orange, and we're just going inside the pumpkin. We're gonna start with the light color, and then we're gonna move towards our darker colors. And remember to blend. They don't have to be perfect. These are pumpkins, so they have bumps. They're not perfect. I'm doing a little bit of the lifting because we want a little bit of the highlight in the center. And in this case, I'm using my shadow, which is going to be on my left side. The right side is going to stay a little bit lighter because that's where the sun is hitting my pumpkins. So we're keeping the right side on the lighter side. And remember, every time you apply a darker color, you want to blend. Clean your brush in between, dip it in the water, and then you come back and blend it with the tip of your brush. Now I'm adding a little bit of my burnt brown. The same thing, we're gonna add this color first, and then we're gonna clean our brush, and we're gonna go back to it and blend it. We're gonna move to the other side. We're gonna do the exact same thing. In this case, I'm using my cadmium yellow first, and then I'm applying my orange. Same technique. We're gonna keep the right side nice and light, and the other side is gonna be where the shadow is. This card is not 100% cotton paper, so it's gonna react in a different way that it would be if it was 100% cotton paper. You just have to be a little bit more patient. Sometimes it dries quicker, and just make sure that you have enough time to blend your paint. Now I'm applying the darker color, and whatever that is a pumpkin next to my pumpkin, that's where I'm gonna put more darker color, because that's the shadow from the other pumpkin. So we're gonna do some lifting. That means we're gonna clean our brush, and we're gonna go back to it, and we're gonna pick up some of those colors that we just put in. And we're just doing the lifting in the center of our pumpkins. I'm adding some more brown to the top, and we're gonna bring it down and blend it again. Now we're moving to the pot. This one I'm putting look-alike sunflowers, but you can put any flower that you like. You can use any color that you like. In this case, yellow and brown, those are perfect for the fall. So that's what I'm putting the sunflowers here. Now we're gonna get our plants wet. We have two plants, one on the right, one on the left. And it's kind of like a bushy kind of plant. So we're putting our water first, then I'm putting the cadmium yellow. And it's gonna start moving because it's wet. And then we're gonna go to our darker colors, all the fall colors, yellows, oranges, browns, a little bit of red. This case, I put my red. I put a little bit of the sienna, the burnt sienna, and it's gonna give me this nice rusty red. And then I'm adding a little bit of my sienna, just to give some more contrast to my bush. And then I'm adding my rusty red. In some areas, we don't want to put too much, just few touches inside of the bushes, just to give some more attention to this area. We're gonna add a little bit of salt, and we're gonna let it dry. So for now, we're moving to the lamps. In this case, I'm using my Payne's Gray with a little bit of black. And this is very simple step. We're just filling in, going around this top part, and then we're gonna go on the lines for the light. And the last thing would be to add the yellow for the light. But we have to make sure it's completely dry, so the paint won't start bleeding from one place to another. We're doing the bottom of the light. And we're gonna do the exact same thing on this other side. Make sure you have a little brush. Sometimes if you try to use the tip of a bigger brush, it's a little bit complicated. So this one is number 0. You can use a number 1. Even a number 2 would work. Just make sure you don't press too hard on your brush, so you're getting very thin lines. We're gonna let this dry completely, and now we're gonna move the salt. I'm adding a little bit of the golden color to my doorknob, a little bit inside the lights. I already added the yellow, let it dry, and then I went back to my yellow, added a little bit more, and then I put a little bit of my golden color. Now we're gonna paint our door. In this case, I decided to use ultramarine blue. You can use any color that you like. This is your card, so you make it your own. If you don't like blue, you can use red, you can use green, yellow, whatever color you prefer. This is your house, this is your door, so you pick your color. And with the paint spray and a little bit of black, I'm going around the frame, making those dents. And on this one, I did 2 layers. I applied the first one, let it dry completely, then I went back and did the same thing. We're just adding some of the details inside the door, and then we're gonna do the knob. Same color, I'm not changing the color. And like I said, this card is not 100% cotton paper, so the paint sometimes doesn't kind of soaks into the paper that much. You could give 2 coats if you want. I just didn't want my blue to be too dark, and then the details of my door would not show up. It would be like hiding. So this is why I left it this way, but you can use 2 coats of a lighter color. Like in case you choose yellow, you could do 2 coats of the yellow. Now we're moving to our wall. In this case, I'm using my yellow ochre, very light on the color, lots of water, not too much paint. And we're gonna let that dry. We're moving to our pumpkins, and I'm just using sap green with a little bit of ultramarine blue to make it a little darker. And we're just making the stems for the pumpkins, adding a little bit of the shadow here where they meet. And we're gonna let that dry. We're gonna move to our wall, the frame for the door, and I'm just adding some very light gray. So for gray, we're gonna mix ultramarine blue and burnt sienna and lots of water, not too much paint. And it's gonna give us this nice, beautiful light gray. And then with my marker, I'm gonna make the lines for the frame so they pop a little bit. They're kind of hiding between these 2 layers. And I just use it all the way around the frame. And we're moving to our step. I'm using the exact same color that I applied for my frame, very light. And now we're gonna be putting some leaves. So with the tip of your brush, just twist and twist, and just use the tip of the brush. We want to make some look-alike leaves, and we will get back to this. We're just adding some color, and then we're gonna give more definition to it. I'm using my brown, my burnt brown, and my sienna, and also my orange. And don't worry about if the paint moves a little bit, we're gonna wipe it off later. A little bit of splatter doesn't hurt nobody. It adds a little bit more detail to the card, and it gives you the idea that it's more leaves in that area. We're going back to our plants, and I'm just using the burnt brown to make this line inside my pot. And we're also gonna go around and bring that pot back to life. As you can see, my brushes, they need a little bit of cleaning, so that's why you see some hair sticking up. But after you clean them, you just have to have really hot boiling water, dip it in the water, leave it there for 10 seconds, and the hair is gonna go back to its natural shape. It's just too much paint inside the hair of the brush, so that's why it's like kind of all over the place. So now I'm gonna use my mixed media. In this case, I decided to use my watercolor pencils, so I'm just applying some leaf shapes or strokes, and we want some on the inside, some on the outside. If some outside they don't have any color, that's even better, because it's gonna give you this kind of illustration look. And I'm just making some M's. You want some of the M's on the inside, so it looks like the bush is a 3D. Now I'm using my darker brown, and then I added a little bit more color to my sunflowers. Now moving to the steps, adding some leaf shapes to those colors that we put earlier. And it doesn't have to be every single one, just few strokes here and there. I'm adding some more shadow to this pot. And then we're gonna make some leaf shapes for a wreath. So I'm using my darkest brown. We're gonna be using our orange, and also this is kind of like a burnt sienna, so it's nice and copper looking. Also my orange color, and make sure you make your leaves in different ways, not facing the same way. You want some up, you want some sideways, and just give it different directions. I'm applying yellow ochre to the top of my card. It was too light, and it needed some color for this part. We're gonna do the side too. And then I'm going back with my micron. This is the black, and adding some more leaves on the outside, on the inside. So it's gonna give you more contrast. Remember, you can put some on the outside, hanging in there with no color. It's gonna look more like an illustration, which is super cute. Or if you don't want it to look like that, you just put them on the inside with some color. So we're doing our final details. Just adding a few more leaves in some areas here on my wreath. And then you can add some on your flowers inside the wreath. You can make like a circle, so it looks like flowers or like roses. And you can also use your ultramarine blue pencil and add some color to your wreath. So this is it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Bye bye.